Yes, graduates, welcome to Hard Talk Podcast with HTK. Fasten your seatbelts.
Hey, users and subscribers, welcome back to another episode of Hard Talk with HTK. Now, let's talk about this New York accountant who traveled to Jamaica to celebrate her birthday and ended up being murdered shortly after arriving in the island by her actual husband. Now, there is an active manhunt for the man. This is his picture right here on my screen. His name is Dane Watson. Dane Watson allegedly owns a tour guide business and he operates in Montego Bay. Now, according to online reports from either family members or people who know the brother, they are saying that this man uses his business in order to lure tourist women into his trap, and that unfortunately, this lady, Melissa, was the latest actual victim. Now, as you can see here, he has an Instagram page that he calls Dane's Tour Services. He does airport pickups and drop-offs, cruise ship excursion and tours, shopping, charter services island-wide. And he even lists his email address, which we will not put on this channel. So, Dane's mother allegedly owns a popular tourist restaurant called Upper Deck Cafe and Pool Bar. And they are claiming that she is covering for her son. She allegedly introduces him to tourist women at the restaurant. Now, people have counteracted this statement that I found on Reddit, claiming that the mother never did any such thing and that the young man just hangs out at the restaurant, and that's where he so happened to meet this lady that he ended up marrying. Now, their relationship is being described as tumultuous. Now, in case you don't know what tumultuous mean, beer, war, and strife and problem in a them relationship. And despite the fact that she went to Jamaica in April to celebrate her birthday, she was staying at an Airbnb rather than in the home of her husband. Listen quickly to this voice note that was released on the news.
He kidnapped her from her Airbnb, and then took her to his house. But yeah, and that's where they also found her belongings: her suitcase, her purse, her iPad, and her duffel bag. So they recovered all that stuff from his house that he was staying at.
Okay,
Okay.
that's crazy.
And he also stole her cell phone. So they weren't able to recover the cell phone, but he turned it off. So I don't know at this point. We were unable to locate it, of course, but they were, and her laptop he took as well.
So you see, people, when I hear this, it sounds to me as though their relationship was estranged and that she had clearly made a decision to stay away from this guy. Now, I don't know why it is that I decided to go through his Instagram followers just to check to see if she is indeed trying to stay away. I found this very discreet profile, and it is the only one that to me matches a resemblance of actually herself. Now, the profile that I found that was following this Dane Tours page on Instagram, it was called an acronym. But I had to zoom in on the picture to see if I could really see who it is that was behind the acronym. So the acronym was MKSW. MKSW. And when I zoomed in, this is the image that I saw, which to me bears a strong resemblance to the lady. Now, the lady's full name is Melissa Kerry Samnath. And if you look on the acronyms here in this profile, it is MKS. I don't know what the W would be for, but she goes by the name of I Am Malicious on Instagram, and she only had 5 followers, but she was following 58. It kind of look like a sneaky page, you know them little sneaky link page there, yeah, where she used to actually either communicate with the guy or pre the guy, right? Now, when I look at this beautiful young lady, she seems to be surrounded by family members all around who are really distressed about the loss of her life. And I say to myself, this young lady here, oh, she end up with this this a Jankra, this a man here would just look like he haul and pull up. No little nothing to him. And initially, my first thought was, mighty God. Then, is this a boy she come pick up all the way from America? And I had to check myself before I wreck myself, people. Because looks don't have anything to do with a man's ability to commit such a crime. We have seen too many face boys on here who have taken out the life of other beautiful women. Let's not forget Noel Maitland. And let's not forget that Rushane Patterson, both of whom were face boys. And as you can see, the lives of their partners ended up tragically fatal. Now, from what I can see here, this man, he runs a tour company and he interacts with tourists all the time. I do not know the circumstance under which this lady Melissa met with this man, but it is clear that it is in a tourist context. You see, you ladies in America and abroad who like to come to Jamaica to find man, una need for use una wisdom and understanding. Yeah. A whole heap of una turn up in the island, come on holiday, have a holiday fling or romance and want to turn it into a legitimate marriage. Una don't know anything about the guy them. Una don't know them background. Una don't even know what their real legal names are. And it seems to me as though this kind of way of having a whirlwind romance and trying to get something serious out of it is what will lead to a lot of results like this. Because some of these men are hell-bent on targeting tourists because they're aware of their gaps in the knowledge of who they are as a person. They can pull the wool over your eyes. Easy, 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 easy. Because you don't have any way of verifying the information. In other words, them can give a 6 for a 9. They can make up all kinds of stories and create a persona that whenever you guys visit the island, they are the perfect partner. Yes, they give you all the good loving in a bed and make you feel physically satiated and fulfilled. And by the time you quint and gone, them have another baby mother round the corner, or 2 or 10. Now, from what I can see, the mere fact that she was staying in an Airbnb means that she never want to have nothing to do with this Dane brother, yeah? And he was not having any of it. The fact that he had to go and kidnap her, allegedly, and bring her to his property. It sounds as though if it wasn't under duress or force, she would not have gone with him. No, according to the hospital reports, she died of multiple blunt force trauma to the head. And when he dropped her off at the Cornwall Regional Hospital, he then made good his escape, leaving her in a wheelchair, partly alive, for her to lose her consciousness and life in the hospital. When she died, nobody could find Dane. No, interestingly, in this voice note here, listen to what the mother had to say.
His mother had called and told me that she heard from Dean and that he told her that my sister is either in the hospital or a morgue. That's what he told his mother. So his mother was the one that was calling and she was communicating information, because when I couldn't get in touch with my sister, she was the next person that I called.
So if it is anybody who is going to know where Dane is, Dane Watson's mother would be the person. It is not surprising, therefore, that Melissa's family members are talking. They are putting out the restaurant information and warning other tourists not to go there to patronize the business, because it is a spot where men will prey on tourist women for their own gains and to the detriment of those women. Now, I do not understand why it is that they are blaming the restaurant per se. Women, we have to take accountability. You cannot see these kind of red flags and you do not pay attention to them. And by the red flags, I mean that Dane is known to the police. He has had run-ins with the police before. a man with a criminal background who allegedly this particular incident is not his first, is one to be afraid of and to avoid. Maybe she discovered this late in the situation, and Melissa probably wanted to leave. This is often when we see the relationships turn violent and fatal, especially given the fact that the man does not feel as though anybody else should have you when he cannot have you.
He needs to do the right thing because she didn't deserve that. And now that we lost her, he needs to get caught, and just whatever price that comes with, it comes with that, because we can't just have him out there, and he did a horrible act of violence to take an innocent life that you should not have taken, because you're not God and you don't decide that.
Now, a lot of people are going to say that Jamaican people are victim blaming. And a victim blame, we are victim blaming people. We are warning women to stop doing this. When you hear victim blaming, is the ones that are referring to women like Melissa as desperate and lonely and all of that kind of thing. Listen, these women are not necessarily any of that. They're not necessarily desperate. They're not necessarily lonely. They could just easily come to the island and fall for the charms and the appeal of the Jamaican men. Jamaican men are extremely charming and most are extremely good looking. So we understand. And when it comes to the bedroom activity, them kind of in the top notch. You understand? So we get all of that. But those things are superficial. Those things are surface. You really need to be looking below the surface in order to get a man of integrity and quality who is committed and who is non-violent in an island like Jamaica, where certain behaviors of misogyny is expected and accepted and celebrated across the culture. So, for you to find a man that does not fit into those stereotypes of being a gallus or of being capable of being a woman beater, then you really have to look carefully, deeply, and take your time. Now, you as an American coming to the island, you are already considered a prized possession because you bring in the almighty passport with you and of course the US dollars. Most people, when they marry a tourist, it's because they want an exit from the island. It is not that all of these relationships are capitalist, but really and truly the majority of them are. The majority of them are for convenience and to escape into a world that they consider to be a land of milk and honey and opportunity. So when you guys come here to Jamaica and you expect that you're going to pick up a Butterfoot man like this year, and he is going to be better than what you are experiencing in America, you have another thing coming. Yes, you have another thing coming. It's best you stick to the devil where you know, because at least you can run background checks on people easy peasy in America because there are systems in place that facilitate that transferal of information around human behavior and whether or not there are any criminal records or legal issues around the person's name. In Jamaica, you cannot get such access, so you do not know what kind of templates you are working with when you pick up one of these kind of mania. Now, Dane Anthony Watson is also called Squitter, and he is wanted by the Montego Bay police for the killing of his American wife. They want to question him as a part of the investigation process. Allegedly, this is not the first murder, so says Popeye News Link. Now, as I said, in the second voice note where you hear the report on the mother, it is clear that Dane Anthony Watson is in touch with his mother and that she will know exactly where he is. Because if she's so blatant, they can tell the girl that, listen, he told me that she's either in the hospital or in the morgue, means that she's aware that he would have done something to put her in that situation. And it would be interesting to know if the police has questioned this lady who is the owner of that popular restaurant. Now, I do not understand why it is that mothers feel that they need to protect their sons from doing these things and getting away with it. Because you're teaching them nothing when you allow them to have no consequence, you know. And Dane, from what I understand, is a serial criminal. He has done things before and clearly he is not learning. And the fact that he has gone and taken out the life of this young lady shows that he's not learning. Right? Okay, people want to say allegedly. We're going to use that word there just to cover our back. Allegedly, him do something to the girl.
She texted me back around 10:46 and told me to call the cops and to call one of our friends. And she told me to look at the location on the iPhone because we share locations, and it's a pink house. So I told her, okay. So when I checked the location, she was not at the location where her Airbnb was. She was taken somewhere else, which was Norwood.
Imagine her last words were, I need you to call the cops. Look at my location. It is a pink house. And when they go and dig up the location, that property is nowhere near her Airbnb, but in Norwood. Now, anybody who understand how Norwood run a mobile. Norwood is not a normal place. Even in a them kind of circumstance there, it should be a case of, listen, the police need to get there ASAP. But as it happened, he had already done the do and taken he had already done the do and taken her to the Cornwall Regional Hospital where he dumped her for critical care while it was too late. So yeah, we're not going to say that she's no desperate, lonely woman coming from America to come pick up no Jamaican, but we're going to say she's very ignorant of this boy and his background, and that she needed to have used her discernment. Marrying somebody like this when she is clearly an accomplished woman, and at the end of the day, this guy, he looks as though he is just a layabout, just out there trying to hustle and to make a money and to get a rise off of any female that he can. Listen, it is a shame how things has turned out terribly for this beautiful woman. But, you know, we have to take this as a lesson. Stay away from these boys that uno no know nothing about. Don't think that a holiday romance is the right platform upon which to build a relationship when you are living thousands of miles away. These long distance relationships are there as opportunity for these men, and when their jealousy gets the better of them, the moment you re-enter the island, you become a victim. Listen, stay away from them. That is all we're going to want to know. And say, too many of these situations are becoming a reality. Anyway, if you've made it this far into the video, don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, click that bell if you are new to the channel, so whenever I drop a video, you are notified. This is your girl, Head Teacher K, and I'm out.